Shut up and sit down.
And now, streaming live from the sunny Southern California coast, this is Options Uncensored.
Hey everybody, I'm Steve. Welcome to Options Uncensored. We're making real option trades in real time together. Let's get right into it. First things first, make sure you have your brokerage account open so you can follow along. Have your YouTube video quality set as high as possible. That way you can read the numbers a whole lot easier. Have a calculator ready so we can do some easy math. And finally, remember, this is not financial advice. This is all for entertainment purposes only. All right, welcome everybody. Happy Friday. We made it the week before Thanksgiving. Let's check our open positions. We've got a little bit of green, a little bit of red here. Our Boeing position down slightly, trying to get to 42. All of our positions are December expiration, okay? Microsoft coming back today. I know it's been up for the past couple days and weeks, but it's coming back so far so good. Same thing with SPY, pretty much flat today, but we're making money there. Roku, losing a little bit of money here, and Micron as well, down $70 or so. So odds are nothing's going to close today. Hopefully next week is our winning week, okay? Let's see what we got to open as far as new positions go. First up is Applied Materials, AMAT. Post earnings. So it looks like it opened up down big. It's already rallying back. 63 days. I think we'll keep looking at both December and January right now. We're kind of on that cusp of starting to trade January expiration soon. On the put side for Applied Materials, if you sold the 135 and bought the 130. 100 minus 51 divided by 2 divided by 500. About 5% there. That's okay. What about January? If you sold the 130 and bought the 125, that's 155 minus 97 divided by 2 divided by 500. 5.8 if we sold January. 63 days till expiration. We're getting close. Good liquidity here. 130 on the chart. Right about here. This one's interesting. We'll make a note of it, come back towards the end. What about the call side? For December on the call side, if you sold the 160, bought the 165, that's 102 minus 49 divided by 2 divided by 500. You get paid a little bit more on the call side if you sold the call side. And January, if you sold the 165 and bought the 170, that's 185 minus 112 divided by 2 divided by 500. 7.3 if you sold the call side in January. 165. It's up here. We'll make a note of it. We'll come back later. Let's move on. Baba, I think down the second day in a row now. Okay. Look at the call side here for Baba. For December, you'd have to sell the 85. That's awfully close, though. 79 minus 39 divided by 2 divided by 500. That's 4%. Let's look at January. If you sold the 90 and bought the 95, 103 minus 63 divided by 2 and divided by 500, 4%. So skip the call side on Baba. What about the put side? For January, if you sold the 65 and bought the 60, 72 minus 32 divided by 2 divided by 500, 4% there. And for December, skip December. The 70's too close to sell and the 65's too far out to sell. We'll take Baba off the list. Next, Gap GPS up big after earnings. If you go back to February of 2022, could catch some resistance right about here, actually. Let's look at the call side for both of them. It moves so much there aren't a lot of strikes available here, and you'd have to sell the 20 and buy the 25. There's just no volume at the 25. What about January? For January, if you sold, it's tough. The 20's too close. 22's too far out. Close but no cigar. What about the put side? Nah, skip the put side on both. All right, moving on. Good quarter for them, though. Ross will be next. ROST. I think this is post earnings yesterday after the close. Correct. Okay. Close to an all-time high. Okay, let's look at the call side for this one as well. For December, not a lot of volume here, not a lot of liquidity. January, same thing. Zero volume here at the 145 strike. Okay, that was easy enough. Let's move on. Roblox. RBLX, I think either upgrade or downgrade, maybe. Upgrade from Wolf. Earnings aren't until February, so that's good. However, volatility is not that high. Skip December altogether. Skip the put side on January and on the call side. Maybe call side January, sell the 45. Let's do some math. If you sold the 45 and bought the 50. 68 minus 24 divided by 2 divided by 500. Only 4%. 4.4. All right, no go for blow blocks. Let's move on. Expedia. What Expedia was maybe an upgrade as well. Probably upgrade. So rallies after bull rating from Evercore. Correct. So earnings are February. Charts on fire. Post earnings. Could catch. If it doesn't catch a ceiling here, move all the way up to 137. There's a couple ceilings coming up, so this one's interesting. Just this gap up and continual movement, really strong from Expedia. On the call side for December, good volume too here. For December, if you sold the 145 and bought the 150, that's 103 minus 49 divided by 2 divided by 500. 5.4 for December. And January, if you sold the 150 and bought the 155, that's 157 minus 98 divided by 2 divided by 500, almost 6% there. Where is 150 on the chart? $150's up here. That's surprisingly close for January expiration. The strike for December was the 145. It's right about here. Let me zoom out a bit. 145 is right about here. That seems to be more fairly priced. Hold on one second. Let me look at December, January. Yeah, you get paid more to sell December anyway. Okay. 102 minus 50 divided by 2 divided by 500, 5.2%. We'll mark this one, see if there's anything else that's better. Next, Airbnb. Upgrade, downgrade maybe? Downgraded Evercore. Okay. Earnings are February 20th, so we don't have to worry about earnings messing things up. Kind of hovering around the 200-day. Support, support, support. Good liquidity here too. On the put side for December, 115. Sell the 115 by the 110. It's 120 minus 62 divided by 2 divided by 500. 5.8. On the call side, sell the 140 by the 145. That's 94 minus 47 divided by 2 divided by 500. 4.7% there. January, put side. Tough. 110 is close. If you sold the 105 and bought the 100, that's 121 minus 77 divided by 2 divided by 500. 4.4 there. Skip that. On the call side, call side January, you'd sell the 145 and buy the 150. That's 176 minus 113 divided by 2 divided by 500. 6.3% there. Where's 145 on the chart? Wow, that's close. We'll mark Airbnb as well, call side. Okay, next, VRT. Vertiv, I think they rang the bell today too. They were up bigger and I've already sold off. Holy smokes, just hanging up here in the stratosphere. Earnings are February. On the call side, what a chart. Selling the call side here. There's some open interest, just the liquidity's not that great. Hardly any volume in January. 5-cent spread here. Close but no cigar. Let's move on. We've got better options. Okay, let's follow up on some from earlier this week. Uber's first. What we're looking at on Uber. Waiting for it to move up higher. To sell the call side. Probably not much change here. On the call side for December, if you sold the 60 and bought the 65, 40 minus 8 divided by 2 divided by 500. 3%, skip that. January. Skip the call side on January. We'll move on. I think we're going to take Uber off the list. Next will be Coinbase, COIN. Delicious. All right. Earnings for Coinbase are February. Great. Seems to be catching some upward movement. Put side, December. If you sold the 80 and bought the 75, that's 143 minus 81 divided by 2 divided by 500. 6.2% there. Call side, if you sold the 115 and bought the 120, that's 228 minus 165 divided by 2 divided by 500. 6.3% there. Pretty fairly balanced on the call and the put side. That makes sense. The chart's kind of in no man's land still. I wish it would have a more significant movement up to sell the call side. So it's hard to sell the call side here. But it's already had this move up, so it's hard to sell the put side too. Don't want to force it. Next, Home Depot is a follow-up from earlier this week, post earnings. We're probably done with Home Depot. December on the put side, you got to sell the 290 and buy the 280. Do you get paid for it? Nope. Call side. Skip the call side. January call side. Sell the 330. Buy the 335. That's 146 minus 90 divided by 2 divided by 500. 5.6 on the call side January. Put side January. Sell the 285 and buy the 280. That's 229 minus 172 divided by 2 divided by 500, 5.7 if you sell the put side on Home Depot for January. That makes the most sense. You don't get paid that great for it. 285 on the chart. Awfully close. No thank you. We're going to go ahead and take Home Depot off the list. XOP. I think oil got a bounce today. It did. Still kind of in no man's land. Again, kind of waiting for more of a sell-off to happen. I'm trying to wait for it to break down here, break down below the 200-day, and then sell some puts, or rally up even higher around 152 and then sell calls. So it's kind of in no man's land. Just got to wait for this one. We'll follow up either Monday, if there's some big news over the weekend, or when we get back from Thanksgiving break. Next is Target. TGT. Up big this week, I think. Yeah, it's still up. Maybe we'll sell the call side on Target today. We're post earnings. Today is the 17th, right? So 16th, this is all news from yesterday. Call side December. Sell the 140, buy the 145. That's 84 minus 35 divided by 2 divided by 500. A little less than 5% there on January expiration. If you sold the 145 and bought the 150, you get 127 minus 69 divided by 2 divided by 500. Almost 6% there. Now that's interesting. 145 on the chart. We'll hold off on this one. We'll make a decision on Monday about Target. If we can have more upward movement on Monday, like to say 135, then we'll go ahead and pull the trigger on a call spread. We've got to wait one more day. Okay. That does it for that list. Let's go to our IV rank scanner. And we'll sort by volume. SPY, Tesla, all these have no volatility. We're kind of in that no man's land where most of earnings season is over, and we've got holiday season coming up, so there's not going to be a lot of movement. Very low volume next week. Aside from some earnings reports on Tuesday. We'll get an NVIDIA on Tuesday. Zoom next week as well. The TLT we'll skip today. ChargePoint is a $2 stock. I think they had some news today about replacing their CEO. And they've got earnings. That's right. They pre-announced earnings. SoFi. Nope. UNG. A nat gas ETF. Macy's. This is day 2 after Macy's. Let's take a look at Macy's again. All right. Let's look at the call side. For December, you'd have to sell the 16 and buy, so the 18 maybe? 18 minus 5 divided by 2 divided by 200. Nope, skip that. January, if you sold the 17 and bought the 20, 25 minus 7 divided by 2 divided by 300. Nope, that's 3% there. Let's move on. Next page here. The XBI. No. Nope. GDX. Gold and silver still have some volatility. That's interesting. Let's check out the GLD. I don't think it's that volatile right now. Volatility here. No. Maybe sell some calls. I don't know. Let's look at the call side on gold. For December, if you sold the 190 and bought the 195, 79 minus 27 divided by 2 divided by 500. Nope, 5% there. What about January? On the call side, if you sold the 193 and bought the 198, that's 132 minus 68 divided by 2 divided by 500. 6.4% if you sold the January call spread. Okay. 193 on the chart. That's right up here. That seems fair. Not yet, though. Back to the list. AI, TNA, Plug, Riot, SMCI, USO, Enphase, nope. Kohl's has earnings. That makes sense. Earnings next week on Kohl's. You guys have fun with that one. Pfizer, J&J, earnings in January. They have an event on the 5th. The Enterprise Business Review. We'll discuss the company's long-term strategy. Let's take a look at J&J, just for fun. I don't think there'll be anything here. Let's look at January expiration. Skip the put side on the call side. If you sold the 160, bought the 165, that's 70 minus 27 divided by 2 divided by 500, 4.3. No, we'll skip Johnson & Johnson. We'll look at a couple more, then go back. Snowflake has earnings coming up. Moderna, no. Avago, no. The KRE, yeah, the KRE's up again. Interesting. KRE is hitting its 200 day. Let's look at the call side on the KRE. For December, you'd have to sell the 49 and buy the 52. $300 spread. 32 minus 8 divided by 2 divided by 300, 4%. Nope. What about January? If you sold the 50 and bought the 54. That's 52 minus 16 divided by 2 divided by 400. That's 4.5%. Pass. McDonald's down 7% today. Is that right? That's not right. Earnings for McDonald's are January 30th on the call side. Skip December. January on the call side. If you sold the 290 and bought the 295, it's awfully close though. 156 minus 81 divided by 2 divided by 500, 7.5%. The 290 is awfully close. Right up here. Okay, let's go back to Applied Materials, Expedia, and Airbnb. What make more sense here? Give me a second. Put side 101 minus 53 divided by 2 divided by 500, 4.8 there. Call side 93 minus 45 divided by 2 divided by 500, 4.8 there. January put side 130, that's 159 minus 101 divided by 2 divided by 500, 5.8 there. Call side 173 minus 104 divided by 2 divided by 500, 7% call side January. 165 on the chart. Okay. Expedia. Call side for December 121 minus 59 divided by 2 divided by 500, 6.2. And January 178 minus 107 divided by 2 divided by 500, 7.1. 150 on the chart. I think we'll do this and we'll sell the call side for January expiration. We'll sell the 150 and buy the 155. Okay. Go to verticals here. January expiration. 150, 155. Actually, that spread's wider than I thought. 150. Oh, maybe not. The spread's awfully wide here. The 171, 187. Let's go back to December. Same thing, wide spread. Okay, let's go back to Airbnb then. Call side really quick. 105 minus 53. 5.2. Put side 177 minus 113 divided by 2 divided by 500, 6.4% there. Call side on January 190 minus 122 divided by 2 divided by 500, 6.8% there. 145 for January. Man. Everything's close but no cigar, so I don't think we'll open a new position today. We'll wait till Monday, see what these all do. We'll keep these 3 to follow up on the list for next week. It's kind of tough because there's no clear movement here, and everything's fairly priced. I think we'll leave it as is today, okay? So second day in a row, no new open position, but we did have a good week. We had that Russell 2000 ETF short call spread close. Otherwise, not a bad week. All right, we'll follow up with everything on Monday before we leave for town. But thank you for watching this week. Tune in every day, 7:15 a.m. on the West Coast, 10:15 a.m. on the East Coast. We go live every morning, trading options in real time. Subscribe, you'll get alerts when we go live. And also let your friends know to tune in as well so we can all trade options together. Have a great weekend, everybody. Happy Friday. See you all on Monday.